Hello, MGTOW. Welcome back. Welcome to my truck. Um, one of the things that's been floating in the manosphere lately is, but it doesn't go as it doesn't get the degree of attention that it really, uh, it's required of it. Is women poisoning men, right? And this tends to happen more so than anything in long-term relationships, right? After especially after children are involved, and it tends to happen a lot with elderly couples, right? Where the woman has something to gain, right? Children are grown out of the house, and she now sees the opportunity to get rid of you and to put it, to spend more time with her bad boy, right? There may be a life insurance policy on the way, right? The proceeds of that, or she just hates you because she can't stand the fact that she's turned you into a beta provider, right? Quote unquote beta provider. So I put this list together of how you should think about this issue of being poisoned. And this tends to happen a lot in more traditional family settings, right? Where the woman is doing some of the cooking, if not all of it, and the guy works outside the home. And he finds himself sort of imprisoned in this in this arrangement that is not beneficial to him, right? This artificial construct that we call marriage. And so here's a list of things I put together after checking out some websites and checking out some stats and even some videos of women who deliberately poison their husbands, right? To the point where where they kill them or disable them. So a couple of the websites that I went to the National Poison Data System. That is aapcc.org. Annual reports. That is aapcc.org, nonprofit organization. And I also snooped around the Center for Disease and Control. The Center for Disease Control at cdc.org. I also saw some videos, of women poisoning men, and that's all you have to, if you want to watch some of those videos, just Google it, right? Wife poisoning husband, and you'll see hundreds of these videos pop up, mostly brought forth by mainstream media, right? Because these cases tend to make the mainstream media, even though their overall strategy is to allow feminism to become the ideology that reigns supreme over all of our interactions, right? The interactions that we have as humans, intimate interactions, right, with one another. They still publish these videos because they tend to make them sensationalist, right? These videos get a lot of attention, right? Where people are poisoning others. It could happen to anyone, right? And because it can happen to anyone, that's why they put them out there. So here's the list, right? A list of guidelines that I kind of put together. And as some of you may know, I've been married before. I was married, and it's when you begin to think that your wife may be poisoning you, it's not a comfortable feeling. And so the first thing I have to say is that whenever possible, you want to be the one to purchase your food. You want to be the one to store it. You want to be the one to prepare it. You want to be the one to cook your own food. And this can be a lot of work, especially if you're out there working to support a family, and you've gotten used to the idea of coming home and expecting, that a meal will be put together for you, right? But it can be easy to convince your wife to let go of that responsibility, right? All you have to say is, honey, I feel as though you've been working so hard, putting these meals together for me, and my day at work wasn't as hard as it usually is. Let me prepare dinner tonight for myself or for both of us, right? And you can start with that. Next, if you want to prevent your wife from poisoning you, if you suspect that she's doing this, you want to eat only what she eats, right? If you're having dinner together, you want to avoid eating different things, right? If they prepare the meal for you, but they won't eat it, then you better watch out. So, that's one thing. The other thing is that you want to eat at the same time that your quote unquote significant other eats, right? You want to eat when she has dinner, right? If she has dinner, you want to have dinner at the same time. You don't want to have dinner, a little bit later, or in the night, or at a different time of the day, right? So you don't want to accept the her saying, honey, I'm hungry now and I can't wait for you to get home, right? You don't want to accept that excuse, because it may spell danger for you, right? It may spell disaster. What you want to do is you want to tell her, to have a snack. Have a snack, and tell her that families that eat together stay together. Now, so far, I'm pretty. I'm willing to guess here that you can tell that, again, this is in an advanced stage of a relationship going sour, right? Where two adult individuals find themselves living in the same household, and they have they've worked themselves into a pattern of living, right? And the man discovers that in that process, she has control, or has had control of his food intake for all this time. So, but even then, you want to tell her that families that eat together stay together, right? You want to sell that idea that that you're together for not just for legal reasons, right? Because this may prevent her from going full force, right, at the time of divorce, although it's very unlikely. That she won't go full force against you, right, and try to take everything you have and try to destroy you. But also, and more importantly for our purposes here, it gives you an excuse, right? It gives you it gives you an excuse to have her have dinner with you at the same time, right? And the same food, right? You watch her serve the food, right? And you eat the same thing, same exact thing. The next thing is you want to be aware of any sudden changes in dietary preferences. Now, I'm talking here menu items. I'm talking, the taste of certain prepared foods, right, etc. And if anything at all, is of questionable integrity, then you want to find a way to discard it, right, and not consume it. And this is especially true if you suspect that she has or has had a clandestine lover in the past, and you're still married to this woman. I mean, there are many relationships like that out there, right? Where a couple's still together, formally together, right? But he knows that she has a lover somewhere, and he stays for the kids. Doesn't really touch her, right? Doesn't have moments of intimacy with her. But he's paying the bills, right? The rent and everything else. He's stuck in this arrangement again. This system of slavery that we call family, right? That we call a marriage. and so if you suspect that she has a lover that's or that she has expressed any animosity towards you, in the recent past, then there's absolutely no reason for you to trust her with your food, is there? So you want to avoid that, right? You want to avoid eating foods that are prepared by this woman that has no interest in looking after your well-being. Next thing, and this is very important, guys. Maybe your wife goes to a party or whatever, right? Family gathering, and you weren't able to attend because you were working. That's very common in marriages nowadays. Men work more than women, and they spend their time partying, right? So she comes home and she has a piece of cake, right? That supposedly was lovingly prepared by your mother-in-law, right? And that might have been the case, right? Maybe they just saved you a piece, but you were not able to eat the cake, at the time when they split it, right? When they share the cake among the rest of the family members, right? You were not able to attend the family reunion because you were slaving yourself away to pay her bills, and whatever. They saved you a big piece of carrot cake, right? Let's say it's just carrot cake. So you want to avoid eating that, and the way you do it, I mean, there's several ways in which you can do that, but you can just tell her you're gonna eat it later, right? You're not, again, defer the time in which you're gonna eat the food. So timing is key here, right? When do you eat, right? Sometimes you want to eat in her presence if she's eating the same thing, but at other times you want to make sure that any food of questionable integrity you're able to toss aside. So you can just say you weren't hungry at the moment, right? You can say thank you, honey, right? And you give her a kiss in the cheek if that's the norm still, right? And you tell her you'll save it for later, right? You'll save the piece of cake for later, right? Or the food or whatever it is, right? When you get your sweet cravings or when you get hungry again, right? And the next time she leaves the house, you can just throw the food down the garbage disposal, right? Especially if it's something that's not healthy for you, right? You can just throw it out. I don't recommend feeding it to pets. It may poison the pet. But if you don't care much about the pet, right, and it's her cat or dog, you want to use that animal as a guinea pig, right? And if something happens to the animal, then you have solid proof that they were trying to poison you. But the other thing is, better yet, take it to work with you, right? And you can throw it out on the way there, or you can just give it to someone who you really have special feelings for at the office, right? But then you have to deal with the liability of that. So I don't recommend that either. But if they ask you, how the cake was, how was the cake? Did you like it? Did you enjoy eating it? The cake or the food that we saved you. You always say it was delicious. It was delicious, right? And you just hope to be able to share it with them, right? In the presence of their wonderful company next time, because you were so busy working, right? That's all you have to say. But the food, when they ask you, it was always delicious, right? They never saw you eat it, but you tell them it was always delicious. The other thing is that food plates, right, and drinks, it should all be interchangeable. If you want to avoid food poisoning, you want to be able to swap out a glass of orange juice, right, when they turn their back, right? You want to have them taste morsels of your food, right off your plate, right? And you can do this under the guise of do I need more more or less of this, right? Do I need salt, or this and that or the other, right? You can ask them if if they think your food is too salty or or needs a little more spice, and Have them taste it. Have them taste your food, right? If they're unwilling to eat what you're eating, then you have reason to believe that they're poisoning you. Again, if the marriage is in the dumps, you have reason enough to believe that she will poison your food. And you want to pay attention to your body, right? You want to know how you feel after every meal, right? A lot of food poisoning, you know, uh, a lot of the food poisoning that's taking place, it happens over time, right? It happens over time. She may throw a couple of eye drops in your food, right? Try and poison you like that. That takes time for her to poison you like that, to the point where she disables you. So you want to pay attention to your body after every meal. And this leads me to another point here, and that is that you want to avoid complex meals, right? Comprised of fish, meat, poultry, or pork. These foods, right? In my opinion, they're not really supposed to be foods, right? But these foods, they're harmful to your health to begin with, and what it does is it provides a potential food criminal, food poisoner, with better ways to hide the slight taste of some powerful poison that they've thrown in your food. So you want to keep your meals simple, and that goes along well with the philosophy of MGTOW, right? MGTOW is a minimalist philosophy at its heart, right? We the MGTOW, especially us monks, we need very little to live on, right? And to have a simple life and a beautiful life, what we put in our bodies, or it helps if what we put in our bodies is also simple, right? Simple and nutritionally dense, clean foods. So always claim that you're not hungry at the moment, right? When she's getting ready to serve you food that you are to consume alone, you're never hungry. Instead, you tell her that you feel like you want to walk around a little bit, go around the neighborhood for a walk, or the local park or whatever, right? And you tell her that at this time, if you feel as though that would have more benefit for your health than sitting down and eating, right? And as soon as you get out the house, you go ahead and order Chinese, or order food from outside, Now, I just got talking about, got done talking about, you want it to be healthy, but if you have to be, if you have to choose between, ordering Chinese or getting poisoned, then you want to order food from outside, right? So it goes on to say that this all takes effort, right? You can't be lazy. You have to take full responsibility for what goes into your body. When you choose to go your own way, I mean, this philosophy is beautiful, but it requires that you have discipline, and that you become responsible for yourself, right? Not just in the arena of intimate relationships, right? Intimate relations with women, but in all aspects of your life. You want to be self-reliant as possible. And so all this takes effort. It takes physical effort as well as mental effort too. You have to watch what goes into your body, and this means supervising the purchasing of food, preparing your food, cooking your food, and also making it tamper-proof, right? By using tamper-proof storage containers for your food. This is very important also if you have other people living with you other than your long-term wife. So you want to purchase a set of quality food storage containers, right? And some tamper-proof removable labels, right? If you're to store any prepared or previously cooked foods in a commonly used family fridge, right? You want to put a date on the sticker, and you want to seal the container with it. And this is important. Again, if you have any friends, any other people that live with you, um, this is important, right? Because then you won't know who to blame. It could be her poisoning you. It could be the mother-in-law. It could be anybody else. So be careful, right? And especially if they, again, if you have a, if there's an insurance policy involved, or a large amount of assets that are gonna get distributed as a result of your, you know, falling in a state of disrepair, right? Physical ailment, right? Uh, or some sort of pathology that's related to to your mental health. So those are some of the steps you can take. Another step is you gotta get yourself checked by a doctor. Now, we men, we tend not to go to the doctor too much, right? And for good reason. I mean, most guys just simply don't have the time to do it, on a on a set schedule, right? Every year or whatever. But if you're able to do that, right? You want to get checked by a doctor regularly. If you think that someone may be poisoning you, and especially if your employer requires it, right? You take advantage of it. Get your physical, right? It's crucial. And when the president of a country, when they go to the doctor, right? You best believe that everyone is watching. In the case of a civic leader, right? Political rivals, they use this information to question, right, or to bring to question his ability to lead. Other nations may see an opportunity to capitalize on any weakness on the part of the president or the nation's leader, and the report itself is used as a benchmark. It's used as a way to determine the cause of illness or disease that a person may be suffering from in a more efficient manner. So you're no different, right? You're no different. And if you're sick or if you're healthy, you kind of want to know, right? You want to know if something you're eating is leaving some sort of residue in your bloodstream. So only the last thing I want to mention here is that food is important, but you also, and this is if you're somewhat advanced in age, right, or if you happen to be getting sick over time, you want to only take medicines that were prescribed to you by your doctor, right? And you want to avoid having anyone else administer these drugs to you, along with what seems or what appears to be a clean glass of water, right? So you want to have control over your medicines as well, right? Your medicine cabinet, if you want to lock it and carry the key with you at all times, that's what you need to do, right? So I realize that this may not always be possible, and it may give your distrust of these people away, right? It may give you away, kind of put you in an open spot there, right? Leave you in the open, right? But you have to do as much as you can. I mean, every situation is different, right? And you want to do whatever is possible to protect yourself, given whatever it is that your current circumstances are. And if she insists that you have to eat what was prepared, especially for you, right? And again, you have to tell her that you're only gonna enjoy it if she would just share it with you, right? Eat half of it, right? You want to use her as your taste tester, and you want to do this on a regular basis, especially if things are they're sour, right, in the relationship, and she still prepares your food. So take note of any chemicals that are added to, you know, the household cleaning supplies, right? Especially the clear odorless type, right? You got to take care of yourself, guys. Anyways, yeah, check out those two websites, right? The National Poison Data System and Center for Disease Control. And check out the videos on YouTube. All you got to, like I said, all you have to do is type, you know, wife poisoning husband, right? And hundreds of videos will pop up. It's that common. It really is that common. So you want to avoid being the victim, the next victim, right? Protect yourselves. Take care of your food. You know, be self-reliant, or as self-reliant as you can when it comes to what goes into your body. All right, MGTOW, thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope to be able to talk to you in the next week or so. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and share and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.